Hi guys, it's Stock Curry, and in today's video I've got some update for you on some market news coming out this week. I've also got an update for you on cryptocurrencies and where I see those going, and I've got over a dozen stock picks for you. So let's get into it! Okay, first of all, just an update on the markets. There is some market news coming out this week that you're going to want to pay attention to. The first set of that is the infrastructure bill that it looks like the House wants to pass at some point this week. If that does pass, then that could send the markets higher, at least on the whatever day it actually passes. Now, the other thing that we have coming up is the debt limit. We have to pass what's called an appropriations bill, which basically is going to raise the debt limit. It should be a must-pass, easy-to-do thing, but we'll have to see what happens, and it all just comes down to how much pork, that is, how much additional laws they want to throw into this must-pass bill. So we'll see what happens with that, but if it takes them a lot longer to pass the appropriations bill than they had originally planned on, or if they go past the end of this week, that could cause the markets to go down towards the end of this week, because that means that the debt limit will not have been raised, which in turn means that the federal government will actually have to shut down here in the United States. And so we'll see what happens with that, but overall, I think the infrastructure bill could cause the markets to go up towards the beginning of this week, and then the looming debt limit will cause the markets to go down towards the end of this week. That's just my guess. We'll have to see what happens. Some analysts think it's going to be a flat week in the markets as we wait for the big storm that'll happen next week. And some analysts think that this week is going to be very volatile, with a big swing up early in the week and then a big crash down towards the end of this week. I'm more on the volatile side of my prediction, but again, it's just a guessing game at this point. We'll have to see what happens. It all comes down to the two bills that have to pass in the House this week. All right, let's get into the stock picks because, like I said, I have an update for you guys on cryptocurrencies, and then I also have over a dozen different stock picks for you guys today. So for those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stock picks on YouTube. Every day I watch hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos, and then I consolidate all of the stock picks from the top YouTubers, and I put them together into a single video. I give you both the cliff notes on their stock picks as well as my analysis on their stock picks. Now, if anything I talk about today piques your interest, make sure you listen to who I say talked about that stock, and then go watch their video to get the full details on what they said. Now, all I ask for putting all of this together for you guys is that you hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the page so that you can get notified when I release my next video. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that right now. Alright, before we get into today's stock picks, I just want to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I talk about today is a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. These are just my opinions, which may or may not be accurate. Please do your own research before investing in any asset. If you're wondering what you're looking at right now, this is the Webull desktop app. Webull is the app that I use for my trading, and it is also the app that I use in all of my videos. If you'd like to get 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull is going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. All right, let's get into today's stock picks. And let's start with an update on cryptocurrencies. First up is BTC. This is Bitcoin. Crypto fell last week after China announced that they were further cracking down on cryptocurrencies by banning Chinese citizens from buying Bitcoin. BTC held the 200-day EMA though, and now looks like it's trying to rebound. The MACD is rising as well as the RSI. The candles haven't gotten back above the 10-day EMA yet, but they are close. Quite a few YouTubers gave their favorite cryptos to buy now. StockMo likes BTC due to it being the biggest player in the space and therefore the go-to store of value for large investors. Next up is ADA, and this is Cardano. ADA held support at the 100-day EMA after the last pullback. Therefore, Larry Jones now lists $2.15 as his buy-in price on ADA. Technically, ADA appears quite neutral right now with the RSI near 50 and the MACD near 0. Even though ADA has rebounded a little, it hasn't quite yet broken above the 10-day or 50-day EMAs. If it does, I think ADA will rebound nicely. But if it fails to, we could see a retesting of the 100-day EMA. By the end of this year, though, StockMo thinks ADA will reach a new all-time high. Next up is ETH. This is Ethereum. The ETH chart looks very similar to BTC. The difference is that support is at $2,864 rather than any particular EMA. Now, StockMo said the ETH futures were trading at a premium to the current price of Ethereum, which is bullish. StockMo also reminded us that Cathie Woods came out and said that they were transitioning their crypto portfolio from 100% Bitcoin to 40% Bitcoin and 60% Ethereum. And longer term, most people think ETH will exceed BTC in market cap at some point in what they call the Great Flippening. Okay, now on to our stock picks, and first up is ATER. This is Ethereum. ZipTrader sees a clear trend line that is formed on ATER. ATER dropped after they decided to issue shares to pay off debt on Thursday, but the stock then rebounded 8% on Friday. ATER remains heavily shorted with short interest exceeding 40%. ZipTrader said this is not going to be a fast battle and that short sellers and retail buyers are battling, but it looks like retail traders are winning right now with the cost to borrow skyrocketing and making it harder for short sellers to continue shorting the stock. So ZipTrader thinks retail traders are winning this one. You'll just have to be patient because ATER appears to be a slower mover than other short squeeze stocks like BBIG. Next up is BA. This is Boeing. The traveling trader likes BA as a recovery play. BA had a lot of struggles over the past few years with the pandemic and issues with their MAX aircraft. They lost a lot of money last year, but just this past quarter, BA turned profitable once again. Fundamentally, BA is still overvalued in my mind. But if they can continue to get new orders for aircraft and fix the problems they are having with their manufacturing process, then BA could become quite profitable quickly and we could see the stock price rise once again. Technically, BA is still below the 300-day EMA, but it did have 3 candles in a row close above the 10-day and 21-day EMAs. I think BA is still a falling knife right now, but you might want to get it on your watch list because as the traveling trader pointed out, BA could recover quickly. Next up is CAT. This is Caterpillar. The traveling trader likes CAT as an infrastructure bill play. There's a chance that the infrastructure bill will get passed by the House this week, and if it does, then that could send stocks that are involved in infrastructure, such as CAT, higher. The traveling trader did warn that CAT has exposure to China, so the Evergrande fallout could negatively affect CAT. CAT already took a hit last week due to Evergrande, so the downside risk I think is already priced in. Technically, CAT is trading just above the 300-day EMA. It bounced off of the oversold level last week, and everything now looks bullish for CAT technically. The candles are above the 300-day EMA, the RSI is rising, and the MACD is rising. I will say that we do not have full confirmation of a rebound yet, because the candles are still below the 10-day EMA and the MACD has not yet formed a golden cross. So overall, CAT has a lot of upside potential, but you do need to be mindful of the downside risks. Next up is GS. This is Goldman Sachs. StockMo likes GS as a play on the Fed. All banking stocks will do well as the Fed starts to taper their bond buying and increase interest rates. GS in particular has a low PE ratio of only 7.35, making it one of the cheapest banking stocks you can buy right now. The other banking stocks StockMo likes are Bank of America, ticker symbol BAC, Wells Fargo, ticker symbol WFC, and Citigroup, ticker symbol C. Next up is MU. This is Micron. The traveling trader said MU earnings are coming up on Tuesday. I will also let you know that if you buy MU on or before Wednesday, you will get the 10-cent dividend. Technically, MU is trading between 200 and 300-day EMAs. It is hovering around the 10 and 21-day EMAs with the RSI neutral and the MACD nearly neutral as well. So it looks like MU is just trading flat right now as people wait to see what they are going to report for earnings. The traveling trader likes the idea of waiting for MU to report earnings before buying in. Next up is NKE. This is Nike. Chris Sain talked about how NKE reported unexpectedly low earnings due to shortages in the supply chain. NKE dropped over 6% on Friday on that news. Chris Sain said he likes NKE under $150 and he gave an ideal buy-in price near the 300-day EMA at around $135. I agree with both of those buy-in prices. NKE should turn around once the supply chain issues are fixed. Next up is PLTR. This is Palantir, and they're a data analytics company. Tom Nash talked about why ARK Invest sold 1.8 million shares of PLTR last week. Basically, this was just a rebalancing. In an ETF, a manager needs to keep position values at certain levels. When a stock runs up too much in price, like PLTR did when it ran from $21 to $29 over the past few weeks, ETF managers need to trim their positions in order to maintain valuation balance in their portfolio. So that's why ARK Invest sold. They're not losing faith in PLTR. They just needed to rebalance their portfolio. Technically, PLTR has broken through the $27.50 resistance level, and that level has now become support. The next resistance level is at $31.50. PLTR is a good long-term stock, but this is not a stock that I would trade right now. Next up is PSFE. This is PaySafe. They're a payments platform focused on the gaming industry. Stockmo said PSFE is high risk. He feels the share price has been pushed down too low, but did warn that PSFE remains a falling knife right now. That said, PSFE is down over 58% from all-time highs, so it still has quite a bit of upside potential. Next up is ROKU. This is ROKU. The traveling trader likes ROKU for a number of reasons. First of all, most analysts rate ROKU a buy, and they have an average analyst 1-year price target of $465, which represents about a 44% upside from Friday's closing price. Second, ARK Invest has been buying quite a bit of ROKU, so they clearly believe in this stock also. Fundamentally, ROKU increased their average user revenue by over 50% last year. Technically, ROKU remains near the 300-day EMA, but it's not showing signs of turning bullish yet. I personally feel like ROKU is still very expensive at the current price. The last 3 quarters have consistently come in between 52 and 54 cents per share EPS. That gives ROKU a PE ratio of over 150. ROKU has averaged a 72% year-over-year revenue growth, so the PE ratio is not entirely without merit. The traveling trader likes ROKU because it is down about 35% from all-time highs, and he sees this as a value play at the current price. In just a moment, you're going to see why I think ROKU is very expensive. Next up is SOFI. This is SOFI, and they're an online fintech startup. Stockmo likes SOFI now that it has rebounded from lows. SOFI remains 37% below all-time highs. Stockmo thinks SOFI will pop once they get their banking charter. Next up is TSLA. This is Tesla. They're an American EV manufacturer. Stockmo likes TSLA as a long-term hold, but does not think TSLA makes a good short-term trade. The semiconductor shortage remains the biggest risk to TSLA and other vehicle manufacturers. Eventually, though, with all of the new plants being built, we will eventually go from a chip shortage to an oversupply of semiconductor chips. So given that the chip shortage is short-term, Stockmo thinks TSLA will take off once the chip shortage is resolved. Technically, TSLA broke above the $765 resistance level, but it now faces a much stronger $780 resistance level. Eventually, though, it will break through that. By the end of this year, I see TSLA getting to $840 and StockMo sees TSLA getting to $900. I should let you know that the average analyst 1-year price target is only $788, which is only 1.8% higher than Friday's closing price. By the way, if you're interested in getting tip ranks, as well as all of the individual analyst ratings that they have here, I do want to let you know that Tip Ranks is starting a sale on Wednesday, so I'll be giving you the details on that sale in tomorrow's video. Next up is TWTR. This is Twitter. StockMo likes TWTR because of some of the features that they are rolling out. The biggest feature StockMo likes is that Twitter users can now tip their favorite creators using Bitcoin. Bitcoin tips are being added to Twitter's tip jar feature that is currently available for a few select creators. This will provide more revenue to TWTR as they take a cut of each tip and other monetization features. TWTR is looking quite bullish in the short term, but does have strong resistance at around $72. And last up is ZM. This is Zoom. The traveling trader likes ZM now that it has fallen significantly from its all-time high. I said earlier this month that I felt like ZM was still overpriced, and Jeremy with Financial Education felt that way too. The PE ratio is now down to 56, so ZM is starting to come down to a more reasonable level. ZM is averaging a 170% year-over-year revenue growth going back 4 years with a PE ratio of 56. Compare that to ROKU that is averaging a 72% year-over-year revenue growth and has a PE ratio of 150. ZM has twice the revenue growth and 1/3 the PE ratio. So compared to ROKU, ZM is really cheap. Now technically, ZM is still a falling knife. The candles remain below the 10-day EMA. Now the RSI is oversold, which points to the possibility of a rebound soon, but it's not guaranteed, especially with ZM now being oversold on the RSI for the past 30 days straight. The MACD did just turn bullish and form a golden cross, which it has not done since July. And that is the only bullish signal we are getting from ZM. So overall, ZM is very close to a bottom here and is reasonably priced given its high growth rate. So I like the idea of dollar cost averaging into ZM at the current price. And I would start loading up on ZM once it starts closing above the 10-day EMA, because that would give confirmation that a rebound is starting. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it. Comment down below what your favorite stock pick is. And if you're looking for a broker to trade with, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull's going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. Now, if you're not a U.S. resident, or if you're looking to trade OTC penny stocks, then I recommend Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is a great trading platform. They have highly discounted trading throughout the entire world, with trades starting at just $1 US, $1 Canadian dollar, or 4 euros, depending upon where you live. And both Webull and Interactive Brokers both offer the full pre-market and after-hours trading from 4 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, I've got links for both of those down in the description of this video. Now, I want to remind you guys to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the page if you haven't done it already. I hope you have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.